As Canadians, we like to think we know a thing or two about ice. Take hockey, for example, and how much of our lore that we store on that playing surface. We even have a saying, leave it all on the ice, and we mean it. Players will spill blood and teeth and the game continues. In curling though, it's different. The ice is a delicate, living, breathing thing. In curling, something as small as a piece of lint can mean the difference between a gold medal and despair. So for the world's top curlers, the ice has never been more important than at the 2026 Winter Games in Milan Cortina. So let's spell out how and why curling ice is so special. Almost everything on a sheet of curling ice is different from what you would see in a hockey rink. Even the water. For hockey ice, the water can come right from the tap. Curling requires something more elaborate. The ice needs to be durable and needs to freeze quickly. Ice technicians at high-level curling events use purified water. In 2022, the ice technician at the Beijing Winter Olympic Games told the New York Times the water was too pure for humans to drink. If you tried to drink it, he said, you would burn your insides. The texture of curling ice is also different. From certain angles, it might have the bumpy look and feel of an orange peel. That's because the ice technicians sprinkle droplets of water onto the surface to create little pebbles on the ice. Those pebbles are what help curling rocks rumble down the sheet. Without them, the rocks would just stick in place. When curlers sweep their brooms over the pebbles, the friction triggers a melt. That helps create a path for the stone to follow down the ice. So what makes curling ice such a precise blend of art and science? You can still have a pretty decent hockey game on a frozen pond or river. Curling needs a perfectly level sheet of ice. It takes days for technicians to get that just right. And even then, the work is only just beginning. Curling ice is so sensitive that technicians can't even rest their knees on the surface during installation. Computer systems monitor the humidity inside the arena. Modifications are made when fans start pouring into the stands, raising the temperature with their body heat. And at every turn, care is taken to keep the ice clean. A tiny stone or an errant piece of salt could undo all those hours of work. And if something does go wrong, even the slightest disruption can throw an entire championship off course. When a stone rumbles over a piece of debris on the ice, its trajectory can change. And in a sport where millimeters matter, that can spell disaster. In 2007, curlers at the Canadian Men's Championship, called the Brier, complained about the ice quality. Their stones weren't behaving as expected. They blamed the ice. Stephen Harper was Prime Minister at the time, and he visited the venue. Security requirements meant the big loading bay door had to be opened to allow his car to exit. The mere act of opening that door might have been enough to blow debris onto the ice. Thus, the ice maker was upset. He said he'd need a drink that night, and the ice in the arena would definitely be better than the ice he'd have in his drink. And that brings us to Italy and what's at stake for Canada's curlers this time around. At the Winter Olympics, curling is a little bit like the US Marine Corps. It's the first one in, and also the last one out. Curling will start 2 days before the opening ceremony and will not end until the day of the closing ceremony. Canadians have high expectations for our curlers. The sport returned to the Olympics in 1998, and Canada has won at least one medal every Winter Games. Canadians have won 12 medals overall, including 6 gold. That is more than any other country in the competition. Canada's curlers, along with the ice, will have to withstand the intense global spotlight in Italy. And when medals are on the line or on the ice, every pebble, every sweep, and every tiny imperfection on the ice will matter. Thanks for watching. Be sure to follow along for more great content like this. This is spelled out. Ice, ice, baby.